Okay, so we are at a PBR terrain level, and this is to answer a question. Hey, I only have one terrain paint. How can I fix this? Well, as you can see here, I only have one terrain paint that I made called Ice. However, I would like to have an additional one. So before I begin, I should point out you need to look at the Edit Terrain Material Texture Set properties, because this will determine the resolution of the image that you use for a texture. Since this video is only going to focus on the base texture, I'm only going to show you the bare minimum to make something appear here. All we need to know is we need an image that is 4096 by 4096, which I have already made. I made a texture of the number 4096, and its resolution is, you guessed it, 4096 by 4096. That got exported to the user folder for this particular level, smallgrid art. And in the art folder, I made a terrain textures folder. That is where this image resides. Back to the game. We will say this plus sign here, and this will be our new material. I'm just going to name it new material. I don't know. No, you know what? New 4096. How about that? And the ground surface type will be beach sand. You can pick whatever you would like. Actually, I'm curious to see how this one will react. Alright, so before you can actually add the texture maps, you have to add the material so that it appears here in the terrain materials. Until you do this, you cannot add a base color texture. You can try, but it will not appear there. So with it here now, we can select this base texture for the base color. And there's that image I showed you. We're going to open that up. I'm going to minimize this, and we're going to open ambient occlusion, and we're going to load the same texture into there. Yes, I realize this is not a proper ambient occlusion map, but it'll work. Now once that's there, we can save changes to file, and over in our terrain tools, our terrain painter here, we can add that new material, and just like that, it appears. Common problems people have, well, that damn texture's black. I can't see anything but black. Well, it's because you do not have the bare minimum in here, or your base texture that you are using is not following the law, which is what I call this, the law. It is the rules for all the textures for this level. They need to follow these. Yours may be different. If you are freshly converting a new level, I believe the default starting is 1024 by 1024 and 16 by 16 and 16 by 16, if I'm not mistaken. But as you can see, to fix that problem, we have to have a bare minimum of ambient occlusion and base texture base in there. Save changes to file. This is also a great time to point out the base mapping scale, not to be confused with this. This is independent of that. This adjusts the way the tiling of the texture is on the ground. Now truly, if you would like to fully optimize what your level is capable of displaying, you would need to select the terrain here, and in the inspector window, change the base texture size to also be 4096 but I believe the default's 1024. If you increase this, you will see a difference if you have high resolution textures.